Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Into the Breach. We're still good for trusted equipment, maybe, but I wanted to take a moment and just call this out. I think it is great that the achievement menu marks off for you stuff that you definitely cannot get anymore this run. If you're partway to an achievement, if you're 2 out of 4 on something, it will say on it 2 out of 4 so that you know. There's a lot of little things about this game that I really, really appreciate. Alright, so we want to throw a bunch of dudes into a bunch of stuff, right? There's water in these two environments. I'm trying to think, what is going to be the hardest? What is the thing that we want to do next? The blast scion can be a problem. The armor scion can also be a problem. I think let's go here next. The extra health that the maximum health gaining scion, whose name I do not remember, can really be annoying, especially for a low damage team like ours. Alright, so we're pretty good on power. We don't really need to be stressing about reprocessing. Let's head this way. Go through chemical field A and out here. Kill 4 enemies infected with acid. We can probably do that. I do wish that the acid tank they gave us had started a little bit further forward. Alright, now the acid tank's attack doesn't push, does it? I think it's just, yeah, it's just the acid. So, how do we want to do this? Obviously, I don't really want to get hit by that. We could pull this guy to the side. Obviously, what I'd really love to do is throw him on the spawner. Or I guess, if we're going to throw him anywhere, we throw him into the acid. What am I thinking? I believe that it will not count as killing an enemy inflicted with acid if we drown him in the acid, despite the fact that it very obviously should. But we can solve that problem just by shooting him with the acid tank first. And then all we have to really do is move this guy out of the way. Let's see. You can't actually get into a position to pull him into the acid, so it has to be this guy who does it. Once he's moved, obviously it's safe for us to throw this guy over. His attack will hit nothing. Unfortunately, the gravity mech cannot cause any damage to the soldier scion. And I'm pretty sure... Yeah, I don't think there's any way for me to make the Alpha Scorpion hit the soldier scion. Well, alright, let's do the obvious thing here. So... we infect him, or inflict it upon him. Okay. Good for you, Claire, you earned it. A nice level up. I guess I could also... Yeah, what I probably should do is pull this guy instead, because this way we can at least put a little bit of damage on the scion, right? I really, really do want to get rid of that thing. Hopefully the enemies will be in a slightly more manipulable pattern this time. Well, that's not great. It's really not great. Okay. What is the best way to do this? Is this thing granting +1 max HP? Okay. That's a shame. So, I mean, as it stands right now, the Judo Mech is not going to take any damage. It's not crucial that we save him, although saving him does make it easier to kill some of the others. So we really only have to deal with these two. And that's easily enough done. It's a shame I can't get the gravity mech over to here. Actually, I said that's easily enough done. It's not really, is it? Because we can't use the gravity mech to pull this guy this way. I guess I could put it here and pull him that way. Or I could use the gravity mech to pull the crab up this way and then flip him over with the judo mech. We are at +2 damage on Vec now, right? Yeah, damage 2. So... but... I can't then just push this guy with the siege mech. I'll do a damage to the... Oh no, I took the building immunity thing, didn't I? Yeah, that's right. Oh, never mind. I can't move over there far enough to do it that way anyway. Shoot. Well, the acid tank, unfortunately, can't get into a position to shoot anybody except you. Shooting you doesn't really help. Wait, do I still need the push 3 enemies achievement? Okay, we could get it, right? I could pull this guy in, and then come over here and drop a shot directly on top of the judo mech, which would kill this guy, damage these two and push them away, and then we could use the judo mech to cancel one of these two attacks, and we just endure 2 damage for the sake of getting our achievement locked down. I think that's actually probably worth doing. So I'm going to acid this guy up first. Move down here and grab him in. Alright, mass displacement. And then the question is, which one of them is it more important to do this to? Actually, uh-oh. Maybe I can't prevent either of them if I do it this way? I wasn't thinking about it, but this has left our gravity mech in a situation where he will be killed. So... yeah, shoot. That's really bad. Okay, we probably have to reset on that turn. I probably can't risk 4 power. Out of curiosity, the achievement does remain unlocked. Okay, that's a thing worth knowing. That's pretty cool, actually. So let's see, we could still do the same... we could do that move just to free the judo mech. And then he can deal with this guy, and the gravity mech can... the gravity mech cannot get to a position where he can pull this crab to a spot where he won't deal any damage. I can only pull him this way, which means he'll still deal a damage here, but it is just 1 damage then. And I honestly don't know that we're going to get anything better. So maybe I just have the acid tank shoot this guy, even though it has no real effect, just because we're going to kill him this turn, and I should get the progress. We'll just endure the 1 damage. I think that's probably an okay way to go about this. No, that's true. I can't just do this. Just pull this guy this way. I had to be really careful about my my tank now, but it's not a big deal. Oh, no, we're still taking 1 building damage. Well, I could have thrown him here. Yep. Taking 1 building damage for no reason. It's fine. Listen, the hundreds of civilians and their families and loved ones will understand. These are strategic casualties. I'm trying to get the public to really turn on the FAQ. Please don't web him. Ah, annoying. Okay. Yeah, so I needed that not to happen because this is a very easily solved turn if I can just take my judo mech and throw this guy over. Well... I don't need to keep the acid tank alive. So maybe the acid tank just moves to here and shoots that guy. We might not be able to get our stars then, though. Yeah, it's just like the acid tank can always move exactly enough spaces not to be able to hit any enemies, it feels like. Well... it's easy enough to kill this guy. The real problem is freeing the gravity mech. There isn't a way to free the gravity mech that doesn't involve the siege mech shooting, I think. I believe that's true. The siege mech has to shoot, we have to throw this guy over. He'll do some good damage, he'll block a spawn. Right, I think this actually has to happen. Okay. So now we're really not in very much danger at all. We acid tank this guy, and then we pull him into the pool. I just kind of... Like, I guess I wasn't really thinking. I guess I couldn't have moved the siege mech. He needed to be in this line. And it's only 1 damage. But I was not even... I had to focus up, man. I can't just be having stuff happen without me being aware of it at a time. Alright, so we blocked the final spawn. We have a lot of enemies in very vulnerable states. Okay, so if we... Let me think here. We can't use the gravity mech to pull this guy into that guy for the kill, because I can't quite move far enough. I'm just thinking... We can use the gravity mech to disable his attack. So if we have the siege mech fire, like, here, it'll damage this guy. It'll damage that guy, which is kind of irrelevant. The point is it kills this guy, which allows our siege mech to move out, to move up to here, throw this guy over. That doesn't give me a kill. And in fact, the only person the acid tank can shoot is this guy. Our Genomech does have enough movement to be able to get up to here and throw this guy over instead. And then we can use the gravity mech to disable this guy's attack. Yeah, we can do this without taking any further casualties. Yeah, I'm not super happy with the way I handled that, but at least it was not a mistake of a huge... It was not a huge mistake. A mistake of a huge size. That's a normal English way to express that idea, right? It's a recoverable mistake. Just a little bit of life lost. And most importantly, I'm still getting paid. Alright, end the battle with less than 4 mech damage. Protect the clinic. You know, I do tend to take a lot of mech damage, but I can try to watch it this time. Starting with this thing right out in front again, huh? This is actually pretty awkward. The way the starting spawning zone is configured here. Ew. Wants to convert the Vec into nutrients. I do not think that we should drink Vec. Alright, well... So it's pretty easy to deal with this guy. I'm debating whether I want to do this before pulling him over to here or not. Like, we can't quite kill him. But I can dump the missile here. I can kill you. Nah, it's not quite going to be lethal. But I do want him to go away forever. It's like we just pull this guy onto the conveyor belt. And then I am so very, very tired of the Scion. It's an alright first turn. We've got to get some bonus health on the artillery mech. This is... Alright, that was nice of you to just run onto the acid like that. So you only have 1 health left. We kill you from just about anywhere. Unfortunately, the attack order is not such that the Alpha Crab will just solve this problem for us. Well, why don't we do this? That kills this guy, blocks this spawn. We can use the siege mech to deal with that. Or actually, I use the Judo Mech to deal with that, right? And then the Siege Mech actually can just repair. Is probably an okay thing for it to do. Or no, sorry, the Gravity Mech is the one I'm talking about here. And he doesn't need to repair. Well, I don't know what we'll do with him. Block a spawn. I mean, obviously. Yeah, I don't think it makes any sense to do anything other than this. This is going to put us on 2 mech damage, which is fine. Yeah, I don't think that's a big deal. I guess... here. Have you be slightly closer to the action. I'm kind of surprised that he gets pulled by the conveyor belt. I was assuming he wouldn't because he's flying. Apparently the word belt has a different meaning in this timeline. Some kind of massive conveyor field, I guess? Alright, well, they're not making this very difficult for us. How do I want to do this? Well, we have to do some repairs this turn. What is going to be the best way to deal with this guy? There's a lot of ways for us to pull this guy over onto this spawn. But really the only thing we can do here is I have to drop a missile here to push him over there, because the Judo Mech definitely needs to use his turn repairing. And I definitely want to do this before I pull the other guy onto the spawn, because I do not actually want to kill him. Or push him off of the thing. Like, we want him right there. Covered in acid, right there. You need to get off of that conveyor magnetic field, or whatever it is. Unfortunately, we are getting quite a lot of spawns here. Acid damage, or acid does not double the damage from blocking a spawner. I'm not sure if I knew that or not, but it's good to point out. Okay, so he's actually fine. But obviously we gotta solve some problems here. So this guy has to be... I guess we have to drop a shot right here again. We can't pull him down because he still hits a building. And dropping the shot right here will also push our Judo Mech out of the way so that he can handle the Hornet. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It does not get us a lot of XP. This is a low-death solution. I guess we do this like this so that I don't flip him over. Oh, interesting. I didn't take the bonus damage thing, right? Yeah, the throw still does 1. So if you throw something onto acid, it gets the acid effect before it takes the damage. As another thing that will probably be worth knowing. Then here, we can get another kill this way at least. Okay, we narrowly satisfied the requirements. I gotta be honest with you, I am feeling a little soft-brained right now. I don't know what it is. I'm just like not seeing things the way I'm usually way I'm used to. So, with that said, let's do a very difficult mission, right? Oh, this is the disposal unit mission. I like this one a lot, actually. It's just fun to work with these things. We have to destroy all the mountains. That's actually relatively easy on this one. It only takes 2 shots. So that gives us a lot of time to use the disposal unit to do terrifying, terrifying things. I think I'm going to put him back here with the intention of having him move on the back line mostly. Okay, some cunning play by the monsters here. Being very careful not to line up in a way where I could dispose of more than one of them. Or more than 2 of them. I guess I could shoot right here. So we have a lot of really bad stuff happening. We could kill this Firefly with an artillery shot. Fired right here. It'll do 2 damage on the hit, and I think the acid will also... Let's see. No, just weapon damage. So it will not damage... It will not double the damage from him being pushed into the mountain. Well, we can just do this. He stood in the one place that he shouldn't stand. In regards to my disposal issue. So what else do we have to do? We have to deal with this guy, which is easy enough. We just throw him over. We have to pull this guy out of the way. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way for us to get these Vec to hit each other. He's going to do 3 damage. So I might have the Judo Mech actually come down here. Yeah, this should be fine, right? We throw him over onto the spawner at least. And his shot will land in these 2 spaces. Okay. Is that fine? Yeah, that's fine. Alright, we do this. We use the artillery mech to... I'm trying to figure out, is there any way that I can make this guy get hit by this guy's attack? I think the answer is no, because we can't get into a position where we can fire on this square from anywhere. And that's really what I would have to do. Well, I can do this at least. I can move down here, pull this guy down, and then just slam them into each other. Right, that's not the right move. Here we go. Right, I can do that. That's a little bit of damage at least. I could also fire down here to do damage to the... I mean, we could try to put some damage on the Siege Mech instead. It would be a lot better if I could move all the way over to here, because that would... or the Vec, because that would kill the Vec. Yeah, I think this is the best option we have. Let's just line up a little bit of damage. This square gets totally pounded. It's absolutely brutal. Now we only need one more move from our acid unit to actually finish off the mountain. So we have a lot of leeway here for using it to destroy other stuff. Like, for example, both of these guys, which I think is definitely happening. Boy, there sure is getting to be an awful lot of acid on the ground, though, isn't there? Is there any way to line this up so that I can kill both of these guys? I don't think so. I just don't think we have the damage. Let's see. I could run him up to here. Flip the Soldier Scion over the Judo Mech. Use the Gravity Mech from here to pull it up 1 space. And then have the Siege Mech drop a shot right here. Actually, I like that a lot. It will kill both of them, because I'll do it from right here, so the Alpha Hornet will be slammed into the Siege Mech and will take a damage. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Yep, 2 damage from the doubled missile, and then 1 damage from the slam. Alright, we're probably, due to the low number of enemies on the field here, we're probably going to get a lot of spawns this turn, so we're going to be pretty cautious about that. Oh, it's only 3, that's not so bad. Well, it's not very difficult to deal with some of this, right? A flip over will kill this guy, we know now. Trying to figure out, is there something I should be doing to push this guy down before we do that? I kind of think that I don't have the ability to push him down. Like, right, we definitely don't want to do this. That would be extremely bad. No, I think I just tank the other hit. No reason not to. Guess I can do this now. And you don't do anything, and you get to have your turn to finish off the mountains. That was a much easier configuration of mountains than the last time we did this. Just be in a position where you can help next turn. It is really nice to have a point of armor. Like, even just a 1-point reduction, because the math in the game is so tight, a 1-point reduction in attacks is so meaningful. That was pretty straight. Yes, that's true, Claire. The acid levels here are fairly elevated. Alright, I think we're going to the Archival Island next, because I think the Freeze Island is where things will be the easiest. We have so many ways of bumping people onto freeze mines and... Alright, so what do we want to do next? I mean, this is maximum rewards, right? Defend both power plants, kill 7 enemies. We're good at manipulating the enemies into fighting each other. We have a lot of easier options available. This will fill us up and get us a little bit of grid defense and a star. But, like, is it worth the extra difficulty over, say, just, like, doing this? Probably not, right? The 2% grid defense is unlikely to be meaningful. And the odds that I will lose my perfect island by failing to kill 7 enemies, I think, are higher. Yeah, let's just take the easier mission. Actually, hold on a second. Let's look at the layouts of our available missions. I mean, we're not doing this. Yeah, okay. There's nothing in particular to recommend any one over the others. I just think it's a good idea to get in the habit of looking at the layouts, given that that's information they are willing to give us. Okay, block Vec from spawning 3 times. Ought to be easy enough. I feel like we're not really seeing that many time pods. We couldn't have known that at the beginning, or we couldn't have known this at the beginning, but this would have been probably a pretty good run to do the destroy all the time pods that you see challenge. So, we just dump you in the water, in the acid. I love this. I love the fact that flying lets you go through enemies. Makes my life a lot easier. You out of here. There's one of our blocks. Unfortunately, we can't get another one this turn. Let's just pick up the time pod and call it there. Alright, not totally ideal. It would have been nice for some of these spawns to be, like, in the same column or row as a Vec. So what do I want to do? I want to push this guy out this way. I could use the gravity mech and the siege mech together to push this guy into a position where he's blocking a spawn, right? Not without him hitting the gravity mech, though. Or I guess that's not true, because the gravity mech could go over here and fire. But actually, it can't be the judo mech who deals with this guy. Because I can't flip him... I guess I can flip him from this side. Yeah, flight is like cheating. Okay, so we flip this guy over here, we pull this guy this way, and then fire right there to push him onto a spawn. Or I guess in front of him to push him onto this spawn. Either one works. I have to be careful with my gravity mech from then on, because it's covered in acid, but we'll figure it out. This does, unfortunately, leave us with a huge number of enemies for this coming turn. I mean, 5. It's a large number, certainly. Huge is maybe overstating it slightly. Alright, so we just need one more spawn block over the next 2 turns. Well, we've been offered a pretty good push. It would kill this guy and this guy. Yeah, we have to do this, right? That's, like, phenomenal. And then we can move you to here and have you repair to get rid of the acid, since you can't really do anything else. And you just dispose of this guy. Okay, there we go. So now, barring anything going really hilariously, catastrophically wrong, we are all good on this island. I mean, we still have the boss encounter. I should not count my chickens just yet, but... yeah, not bad. All I have to do, really, is remember not to equip anything. It's like the easiest way for me to, Ooh, what do we get? Okay, that's interesting. I think the easiest way for me to blow this achievement would be for me to forget that I'm doing it and just equip something out of absent-mindedness, which is definitely a thing I'm concerned about. So what do we do with one more reactor core? A little bit of extra movement would be useful on this guy. I'm still having, like, I'm having trouble running him around to the spaces I want him to be in. The other thing we could take is, like, plus health on the siege mech. You know what? I think that's probably sensible. 2 health makes it really hard to use him for blocking and spawns and stuff. So we've had to play him in the back line a lot. And then once we get one more reactor, we can think about undoing the 2 health and putting it into straight damage instead. Which would be pretty good, given how many targets he often hits. Alright, it should not be... I was going to say, it should not be too hard to get the Hornet Leader into some acid so that we can use that to beat him, and sure enough, it wasn't. This is a little tricky, actually. I mean, it's not hard. I'm trying to figure out how to maximize our damage here. So what I was thinking is it would be cool if we could flip the Hornet Leader over and then use, like, an artillery shot somewhere to push him into the Scion. Like, move our siege mech to here and shoot there. But unfortunately, I think we have to use either the siege mech or the judo mech to deal with this guy. So if I use the judo mech to throw him over, that does 1 damage. I don't really think it's feasible to kill him. Well, we don't want to just judo this guy back this way. Judo throwing him over near the Scion is still pretty sensible, I think. And then we got to use the artillery mech, shoot here, push this guy this way so he's not doing any damage. And then what does the gravity mech do? Like, what? It's not really anything of value for the gravity mech to do. I guess we can use the gravity mech to pull this guy to the side instead, so that we have the judo mech come down here and block a spawn, or maybe just throw the soldier over. Unfortunately, I don't see a way to... I don't see the way to use the Vec against each other on this turn. Yeah, let's just block... I think blocking a spawn is better than putting 1 damage onto the Scion. I think. Oh, you can't actually get over there. Never mind. Forget, he doesn't have flying. Well, he can't afford to just pull this guy down. That doesn't do the job. So I think the only way... Yeah, I think it has to be like this, right? It's like, is there any value in moving this guy around with the gravity mech in any way? Like, we can move the gravity mech to here, stand in the acid, pull this guy into the acid. No, that makes things worse. I kind of think our gravity mech just doesn't get to do anything cool this turn. And I'm pretty sure I just want to, like, put him central. Try to be ready to make stuff happen. Yeah, this is not great. We're going to end up with a lot of enemies out. And too many alphas. Well, I appreciate him running onto the acid of his own accord. Okay, we definitely need to use some enemies against each other here. How can I do that? If I throw this guy over to here, we can use the gravity mech to pull him down, so he'll block this. And we can fire the artillery shot here. We're still taking a damage, but we do better. Feels like I should be able to do better. It's a shame I can't put this guy here. I guess we can... We can shoot the siege shot onto this space. Push this guy to here. Make it so he misses his shot and gets killed. But unfortunately, the gravity mech can't really participate in the turn then. Like, he could go block a spawn, but like pulling this guy doesn't do very much. It just prevents one of the grid damage. Yeah, and this guy attacks before that one does, so there's no way to use the... Ah, this is very awkward. Alright, well this only does 2 damage. It sort of feels like the gravity mech doesn't have a roll this turn. He gets to block a spawn. So we throw you over, we do the artillery shot like I said. And then this guy, unfortunately, like, he can't move to any relevant place. We do stand here and do the pull down. He still gets his attack off, so the siege mech will take a damage. Well, it's actually probably better if I throw this guy over and use the gravity mech to pull him down, and then use the siege mech to move this guy to the side onto the acid pool, then we take a maximum of 1 grid damage. Whereas with the other plan, we take a maximum of 2. We don't get to block the spawn in this case. We do end up with a dead Hornet Leader. Yeah, alright, I like that plan. That actually makes things worse. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so we've got this guy covered in acid, this guy covered in acid. You're dead, we have 1 more spawn. It's not ideal. Getting rid of the Hornet Leader is a nice perk, though. I'm sure we're going to be able to refill our grid at the end of the island anyway. Oh, you jerk. I wanted to move the judo mech into this space and throw him over onto the acid. Well, that's a bummer. So I don't really care about the damage being done to the judo mech. We could just block this guy with the judo mech. We are actually, what am I thinking? We obviously block this guy by flipping that guy over into him. You need to get pulled down, which is pretty easy. Actually, this is not a very difficult turn. It's here. So he'll shoot. He'll do 3 damage to this guy. And then this one will finish him off. So I could just, like, do 1 damage to the Soldier Scion. Like, stand here and take that shot. You're definitely dead already. If I fire a shot right here, that does some pretty good damage. He still kills that guy. I guess this guy doesn't die anymore because he's been pushed out of the area of effect. I really like the enemies attacking in the order they're attacking in. I think I'm actually just going to undo move. I'm just going to do 1 damage to the Scion here. This is a good turn. Block all the Vex attacks, get them to mostly deal with each other. Okay. All dealt with easily enough. If I fire this here, kills you. Yeah, I think this is the best thing to do in terms of gaining XP. And then obviously we just block like that. Alright, that feels like a pretty successful island. I'm not gonna lie, I still kind of feel like I'm missing stuff. There was probably a version of this that didn't end up with us taking a building damage. The power's kind of irrelevant. I think we're gonna be fine on power. But it is impacting our score negatively. I don't know if there's anything in the world more important than that. Wow, that seems useful. Alright, let's pick this up for equipping later. I am not going to slip up and equip it now. Alright. So, we have too many things. We're probably not going to use these explosive vents. In fact, we almost certainly... We don't want to keep both of these. I think I'd rather keep the electric whip. So let's sell this. And then go 3 cores and a grid power. Alright, seems pretty good to me. What are you going to do with these cores now? We could put 2 more cores into this. I kind of like that. We're getting the Vec to do a lot of damage to each other. We know we're going to equip him with a thing that's pretty hardcore eventually, so maybe we want to go ahead and give him a core now. I guess we'll health him up. This is not a thing we really need to do. This is just a holding place for this. I guess his health is almost never a problem. 6 moves a ton. I don't know that we'll ever need it, but that seems like a fine place to sit the core. Nah, you know what? Let's be safe. This is a safer play. Alright, well, I feel pretty okay about that. So, we are still on track to get that achievement. You know what? If we do manage to get it at the end of the next island, I'm not sure that we'll go 4 islands. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see if we can indeed pull this off, and maybe to see the end of this run. I'm not sure yet. And we'll see you then.